everyone, welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'll be joined by Leighton Meester, who is here to talk about her new ABC comedy, Single Parents. The show, which premieres tomorrow, follows a group of single parents as they lean on each other to help raise their 7-year-old kids and maintain some kind of personal life. Leighton plays Angie, a single mom who is trying to raise her son Graham without sacrificing her own identity. Let's check out a clip.
Attention, excuse me. Hello, hi. My name is Will Cooper, your room parent.
Oh, no. Oh, this is bad.
Sophie and I are new to the school. I am single. Always try to get that out there, just never quite sure how to work it in.
Somebody tell me when it's safe for my nuts to return to my body.
Parents!
Oh, God, the new guy. We have got to deal with him.
I just wanted to circle back.
It's time you made love. There's no judgment here. This is a safe space.
Give or take a month. It's been about 5 years.
Oh, baby, no.
God, take a laugh. You guys said that this was a safe space.
Not that safe.
Hey, we got Amy, we got Emma, we got Rory, we got Graham. Who are you? Wrong van, kid. Get out of here. Beat it.
The greatest part of parenting. Welcome, dudes!
Why do you have this?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Your wallet is in here, and a bag of popcorn that's still hot. What are you gonna wear on your date tonight?
This?
Oh, God.
Or shorts.
Your pants are making my baby cry.
Hey, Dad.
What are you doing?
People don't think that kids can buff and wax, but they're the perfect height.
You guys are lucky you have each other to look out for one another. It takes a village.
Don't say it.
You're a disaster. Preach.
What's happening? Who are these people?
They're my village.
Ruined it.
Look, let's forget about this, officers. Go ahead, get yourself something nice.
Sir, put the money away. I know these jeans are very tight, but Rory likes them, so I'm wearing them.
I've seen worse butts.
Everyone put your hands together for Leighton Meester. We're saying that trailer pretty much was the first episode, so you saw the first episode.
It's the whole thing. You guys just watched the
Great,
show.
you loved it, right? It's
That's
fantastic.
it. What'd you think?
So I did actually get to watch the full first episode and found myself laughing out loud several times. It's such a fun show with a lot of heart, which I think is like so welcome these days. And then I myself grew up with a single mom, so there's all these kind of relatable things to the plot. So what drew you to Single Parents?
I mean, that exact thing. It's like, that's what we're going for. I hope that it is funny, but has heart. And I mean, right off the bat, the script, the whole collection of people that were, you know, involved, Liz Merriweather and J.J. Philbin, Jason Weiner, who is from Modern Family. We have like New Girl. It's kind of like a cool hybrid of that kind of humor. So them, really, right off the bat, like all women showrunners and writers and executive producers and people who have that experience, mothers, a lot of single mothers in the writer's room writing real life things. And you know, then Taran Killam, who was already attached when I signed on, who I just was like, okay, this is it. And then really like the script, really seeing the characters being these fully formed, fleshed out people. And it seemed like it all gelled, and it was like a fun group dynamic. And I had a lot of laughs, and I still continue to. And I think it's getting even better as we go along in the season, so I'm excited.
So tell us about Angie, because in the pilot, you know, you get a sense for who she is, but I feel like we're gonna uncover so much about her.
Yes, so that is kind of, that's kind of the thing. Like she's like, you know, I would say similar to me in many ways. Like I think sort of a pineapple in like a prickly outer layer at times. Like sort of, although you can be sweet on the inside, you have to be conditioned for one reason or another. Her reason is that she's a single mom. Her son has never met his father. And she's had to be the mom, the dad, the everything, the breadwinner. She works a full-time job. She works overtime. She's got a thankless job at her work, and then the thankless job of being a mother in the first place, which is ultimately a payless, thankless job. And you kind of can't win. So she's been hardened, and I think just like cannot show her emotions. And then she meets Will, who is Taran Killam, who has a mermaid bag. And he's like the exact opposite. He's like single dad, but like stay at home. Like I make Play-Doh from scratch, and like I sing all the songs, and I do all the thing, and I'm the room parent, and I volunteer. And it's a lot to contend with. And so he, I think, softens her and brings out, you know, sort of the more gentle side of her, at least like the more emotional side, which is there, which, you know, I don't think she's ashamed of, but it's just she's had to push it down because it's like you don't have time for that.
He's such like a sad but funny character. I mean, you mentioned him singing. You guys know the Moana movie, right? And every little kid I know is listening to that main song from Moana, and I love that they incorporated that in. Like, it felt, again, so realistic.
It is.
And then
It is
obviously
very
he can
realistic.
sing really well. So
He's a Broadway star, yes. And also we do Wheels on the Bus. We sing that throughout, like ad nauseum to like repetitive Wheels on the Bus, which is very much real life. I find as a parent, like I listen to that song either from my child or just like on our like CDs, and I'll be like 40 minutes into a drive and be like, I don't know why I've been listening to this. Like I can be listening to the radio, but I just like forget. You sort of tune it out, and you hear your kids sing it over and over, and that's kind of what we do.
it becomes part of your vocabulary. Let's talk about the cast a little bit, because I love these cast of single parents. They all have different backstories, which I think is really dynamic, because I can see where those stories are going to go and how they're going to help each other out. But what is the dynamic like for you working with these actors? Because comedically, everybody just hits so consistently. Like, it's a really enjoyable ride.
It is. I think it's like kind of wish fulfillment. It's like it's a fun environment. We have like a Halloween episode and we have the school play, you know, which is just like a bunch of really fun stuff. There is an episode where I do get a colonoscopy because I'm competing with that guy, which is just like, this isn't totally real, but it's very funny. And yeah, like everybody is a great seasoned comedian in their own right. I mean, Brad Garrett is a living legend. He's a stand-up comic, and he definitely like does that on set quite a lot, which just makes everybody so happy. And Taryn is amazing. I mean, everyone's very generous. It's really a collaborative experience, like working on a show that has the writer of the episode right there, the director who's very used to this, and everyone comes up with different ideas and kind of on the spot giving it their own color. And so I've been able to live in Angie, my character, and really like give her my own flavor. And what I think is funny occasionally gets thrown in there too.
I think one thing I always find really funny is the pressure put on parents. And especially it's twofold when you're a single parent, when there really isn't that much help at home. And so his main thing is he's trying to get all the other parents involved in like the parental clubs, and they're just like, no, we don't have time for that. So do you even feel that can you relate to that, where it's just like, you know, you're getting pulled by the school and you're like, okay, let's just.
I think yeah, and I think like you don't necessarily have to be a parent to feel, especially as a woman, the pressure of being kind of everything and doing it all, and especially being a mom, especially a working mom, you do have the sense that like, no, I need to look a certain way and sort of be there for my kid and be everything. And when I'm there with my child, I have to be in the moment, and that's a really hard thing to do. And those precious moments are fleeting, but. I think if you love your kid, you're hopefully there for them. But when you're single, you're alone. I've only done it for brief stints in my time as a parent, like, you know, hours, days, maybe weeks. Like if you get to a month, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it is hard. I mean, you're lucky if you get a shower. You're lucky if you like can remember to eat or like go to the bathroom. You certainly aren't doing it alone. You've got like a child watching you through the shower door. Like this. So it is like, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. So I don't know how people do kind of, I mean, I don't know that you can do everything, but I do notice personally, I just had to at some point like let that go and just know that when I'm at work, I can try to focus on work as much as possible, but I miss my child. And then when I'm with my kid, I'm like, God, I'd love to be working. Like, you know, that, so it's you kind of can't win. I guess that's the lesson, that moms can't win. Is that where the takeaway that we're looking for?
I think that's
single parents,
helpful to
everyone.
No, single parents are like superheroes, though. When you really think about, I always think about my mom. I was like, I don't know how she did it, and then this show kind of like adds light and fun to it. But you're like, it's a really serious job, and so I personally like seeing that reality reflected in like a fun way on TV.
Yes, I think to have an issue that is obviously like it strikes a chord with a lot of people. This is a lot of people's reality, and how it works for them is different for everyone. But I think if you can bring levity and lightheartedness and like maybe make people laugh, it kind of is a great unifier because all the characters are different. Like my character is a very different person from, you know, Will and Douglas and Poppy. All these people have different backgrounds, reason why they're single, different kids, different everything. And the unifier, I think, like, is to be able to laugh about it and that we all kind of are in the same boat.
Let's talk about the kids. Again, top-notch comedic acting kids. One question, what is it like working with kids? Because I'm sure that kind of is, what is that experience like?
I mean, even just that sentence, like working with children, it's funny. It's like, do they work? They more are just like playing and they're like, oh, I gotta say a line. Okay, I say it. And then they're like back to playing. Like they're definitely in that mindset. And part of our set is like a schoolyard with a playground. It's like built onto the studio. So they're playing, and it is cool to see that, and they all get along really well and are really sweet kids that seem, I hate to use the word normal, I don't know what that is totally, but they seem like well-rounded, like grounded children, and their parents are great. I say the term, my son's real mom, all the time. My son's real mom is coming. That's my son, and I love him, but he's not, I didn't birth him.
It's true. It's fact. What's also cool is that the kids I love that they're sort of non-conforming. And what I mean by that is there's these two little girls and they're like detailing a car. And then there's a little boy who's really flamboyant and learning to love who he is and fashion and style. So do you know like the thought process about that? Just making the kids really kind of inclusive and fun. And I thought that was really refreshing.
I agree. I think that was one of the main things that I was really attracted to about it. Obviously, the kids themselves, like being in that process with them is really amazing. But what I was excited about with this project, and as we've gone along, is that's cool to me, is that the kids, very much like real life, are not in the background. Like whenever I see TV or movies where like the main characters have kids and someone knocks on the door, rings the doorbell, I'm always like, where are your kids? Where is your dog barking? Like, doesn't that happen? Like, that happens at my house. Like, kids and somebody starts crying, or you know, you have to like fight off a dog to like open the door. So I'm really happy that they have integrated the kids, and they're all amazing and like really land jokes, like in a great way. They get the good timing, and they're their own characters, which I think is also super important to remember. Like, kids, it doesn't matter who the parent is. If you think your kid is going to be a certain way, they're going to be born, and you're going to be like, "Oh, who are you? I have to like get to know this person that I can't make you who I want you to be. You're going to be who you are."
Does being a mother change how you would approach this role, maybe versus if you had this role, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think in the first place I was attracted to it probably because I find like the role of a mother, in particular a single mother, in this instance, the more compelling role for me. I mean, that's sort of more interesting to me. The stakes are exactly the kind of stakes I live in real life, except it's not like Kuwait is funny all the time. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think that I hopefully can take sort of stuff from work and stuff from life and sort of let it all mix around.
And I read recently that you were saying, sometimes those days on Gossip Girl weren't always like the best or the best experience. So how does that change how you approach a set like this, with this comedic cast and the kids? Is it just you approach it differently, or what are lessons you've kind of learned as you've grown up in the industry?
Well, I think maybe the context of that would be what I was saying was not the set, but maybe the experience of like suddenly having like a lot of attention or fame or whatever, people that you don't know suddenly knowing who you are, which can be super weird. And I was like 20, 21 years old. And while that's not, certainly not a child, I do feel like, wow, the difference between 20 and 30 is giant. And so having that, I think ultimately, yes, I do think it maybe it isn't necessarily could be not the healthiest thing. But I think the important thing is like surrounding yourself with people who are true and good. In this instance, I feel like, it's kind of the same thing. Like I feel very surrounded and very lucky to be surrounded by amazing people and people who are, also normal. I mean, a lot of us are parents, and like I said, a lot of the women around me on this show are moms, single moms. Some of them are single and they kind of get that single part of single parents, and they're like talking about the Tinder landscape, which is always like fascinating to me. But yeah.
Yeah, did you miss out on all of that sort of?
I did
Lucky
in a big
you.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Smartphone dating is.
I do like to like see and then be like, ha 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 ha. Or I don't know which way you go, but you know, you do this.
That is the best part. Swiping for your friend is the most fun. Swiping for yourself gets depressing very quickly.
Yeah, I can imagine. I would swipe, and then I've done it for a friend of mine, and she's like, I ended up with so many messages from people that I would never talk to. I was like, but you know, you never know. Maybe that's how, you know, if you step outside the box of like what you think you want, somebody else chooses for you.
You're opening her horizons. So you spent a lot of years shooting in New York, and now this show films in LA. Do you have a preference? Because I'm always in this debate with friends about the New York versus LA like lifestyle. Just which one is more
Yes.
you?
Well, I don't think of it as a versus, but there's definitely a lifestyle difference. I mean, having a kid, it's way easier in LA. I mean, being here, even for a short period of time, I'm always like, I love it. Like, I lived here for a long time, and I miss it. You know, I miss like certain things about it. But as soon as it gets cold, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to. It's just kind of like, it's just too hard. I think mostly with a kid, like trekking around with like a stroller is like so insane here. Yeah, but I mean, you know, then again, people from here, and certainly me, when I first moved to LA, I was like, wait, the 405, like a freeway, like it's packed. You might as well be walking. So I don't know. It's kind of, it's nice to come and visit. I will say that, like for culture and food and seeing friends and taking a walk and just feeling like I'm in the world.
I know you've done theater in the past. Is that something that you would want to do again and maybe move back to New York for that?
Yes, exactly. I would love to do. I love coming back to New York for a reason. I love coming back for like a little bit of work and then seeing friends and eating good food and seeing plays. And I would love to do theater again. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do that sometime in the near future. Yeah.
Well, we will be waiting and watching on bated breath. I know we have a couple audience questions, so where are we going to start first? Over here?
Yeah, here. It's funny, I was actually going to ask her about the differences between LA and New York, but I guess I could ask, is music still a passion of yours and still a venture that you're exploring?
Yes, it is. In the last, I want to say 6 months, I've wrote the like bulk of my album, and I'm in the process of recording it now, and hopefully we'll be releasing it in a year. It's a long process.
And the vibe of the music is like a little folksy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Next question.
Hey, your character on Single Parents is said to be a minimalist who's just trying to survive. I want to know if you identified with your character on the show or any of the other characters who are on the show.
I think the great thing about a show with like an ensemble cast is like as a real human, not a character on a show, you can be like, I'm kind of a little bit of everybody, you know? But as far as for me, I do identify with Angie the most. I think like I understand the feeling of I'm not doing well, I'm not doing badly, I'm just doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. I think like once you get out of the period of having a kid that like doesn't sleep through the night, that's like a big crucial mile marker for like a child when they sleep like till 6 a.m. It sounds crazy, but that's like, whoa. That's when you start to be like, maybe I'm not insane because you've slept like 8 hours in a row. So I totally get that. And I identify and really respect the like, I'm doing my best and I want to, you know, I want to do what's right for my kid. I also have to like put on a different hat like every hour. So, yeah.
I kind of identify with this guy because he's like he's got this kid, and Andy's like trying to help him learn how to be a parent because he literally is so clueless. In the first episode, I identified the most with him. I would just be like, I don't know.
I do too. I mean, it's that exact period. We have an episode where I'm like helping to, I hope I'm not giving away too much. Whatever. Who cares? I'm like helping him sleep train his baby, which is just the main thing that you think about for like the first year of having a kid. And just being like, yes, go to sleep, please. Like, I want to just please. And babies don't like to go to sleep. They want to be held and like bounced around and like shushed. and like wrapped really tight. So so that, I mean, just that baby, they're twins and they switch them off because like, you know, in case one gets fussy, but they're not even fussy. They're just like the sweetest, cutest little kids. And I got an episode where I got to hold one like the entire time, and I was in heaven. I loved it. They'd call cut and I was like, I just don't want to hold this baby. This is my baby now. And so I definitely identify with everybody. Identify with, we're just like staring at them and they don't know. And I identify with Taran's character a lot because he's trying so hard to be there for his kid, to be a good parent, to be, you know, present and to be the best dad, and has definitely like lost sight to some degree with like, you know, the adult like person who stays up till 11 p.m.
And like hasn't had a lady friend in quite some time, for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
That's what I kept
Douglas,
saying.
he's the one I would like, if I knew him in real life, I'd be like, I don't like you. I don't. But as a character on a show, I think he's very funny and good.
I would just like to be next to him when he's handing out money. I'm just like, yeah, why not?
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Do you want to give me $20? Fine.
And one more question.
Hi, thank you for being here. Do you have any secret talents?
Secret talent. I have no talents. Any secret talents? I mean, I do cook a lot. It's more by just necessity, just like feeding my family and myself. But I did, in the recent, like maybe 5 years, kind of find a little bit of a passion for it, and find it sort of like its own art form. So there's that.
That's more than a lot of people can do, for sure. Yeah.
Boil water.
And it's New York.
Make
Like,
some
seamless
eggs.
is a real option to feed your family
Yes,
here.
I think that's
is-
what I mean by like it's a necessity. I live in LA and you can't really do that. I mean, it's starting, but so now I'm like, I needed to learn how to like toast a bagel.
And one last question.
Hi. What was your favorite scene to film so far?
Definitely enjoyed holding those babies. That was definitely like up there for me. Yeah. All the stuff where we're all together. I definitely liked the Halloween episode where we're all dressed up. That's all I can say, I think. I don't know. And then my character, as I mentioned before, gets a colonoscopy out of jealousy. So that's a good storyline. That's the most random thing ever. I said the word colonoscopy so many more times in this interview and also just like in the episode than I ever thought I would, but there you have it. One more time, colonoscopy. Okay.
Thank you for your question. All right, well, like I said, I really enjoyed Single Parents. If you guys want to check it out, it debuts tomorrow on ABC at 9:30, 8:30 Central. Guys, give it up for Leighton Meester.